Two chefs, one butcher, and half a cow. We're going to take apart every piece of this cow and put each cut to the test. Is it worth sticking to the popular cuts, or are there some secret steaks worth celebrating? This is half a cow.
We're going to break down every cut and see how it tastes. We're here with Glenn from Rare Breed Meat Company, and this cow here is an Angus beef, and it's from Essex. And we are going to start by splitting it in half, and then we're going to start ripping it apart. I'm very curious about how this is done, so I'm going to shadow Glenn like a hawk.
Okay.
And watch his skills.
16 years experience, this man. What this man doesn't know about beef isn't worth knowing.
Right, where would you normally start then, boss? What do you
I'm going to split it. So we got the hind quarter and the forequarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to go 3 ribs in, and then that's where we split the hind quarter and the forequarter. We're going to saw in between here. We're going to join it up, and then that's where you got 2 separate muscles.
The butt. Cool, so we've got our forequarter here. So we're going to start top to tail. So first cut is going to be what, chef?
We're going to do the shin.
Shin first. Awesome.
So to make this a fair test, what we're going to do is we're going to cook it all over charcoal. It's medium rare. And we're going to let it rest for a good amount of time. And then we're going to taste it, see if we find any secret cuts that we've never heard of before. Do you reckon this is going to taste any good?
I think it's going to be tough. That's what I'm looking for here. So I'm just looking for the joint.
Is it a ball joint, yeah?
Sort of.
This is typically, you'll have your shin would be like the ultra premium for braising steaks. So obviously, the theory being, the more work a muscle does, the tougher it is. The shin's obviously doing basically always in operation. So if you go from fillet, which is probably the least operative muscle, all the way down to shin, which is the toughest, that's traditionally why no one cooks this medium rare.
So that there's a 4/4 shin.
So within that shin, I mean, that's all pretty much the same cut, right? There's not...
Yeah, there's no different muscles in there.
The reason I think this is going to be pretty bad is there's a lot of different connective tissues, but also like lots of different muscles running against each other.
You better cook it right, chef, yeah? A lot of pressure on it.
Hey, I'm good, but I'm not that good, I'm not a miracle worker.
That's a Flintstone bone. Look at that bad boy. Right, so Glenn has deboned our beautiful 4/4 shank, you called it?
4/4 shin.
4/4 shin. So obviously you've got front shanks and back shanks. So we're just now going to trim this up into a nice little steak that we're going to give a go. So we call this seam butchering out, where we remove the individual muscles. Obviously on a shin it's trickier because there's so many muscles.
Fucking hell, there's not going to be anything left by the time you keep going. What are you doing?
Try to get these fucking cities out there. Look.
Right, there we go. Just lay it on our grill. We're going to cook them all to medium rare.
Top shin, Pave, what do you reckon? Pretty rough. I would say bordering on inedible. It's quite awfully in flavour. Denied. It's actually disgusting.
No, I'm still chewing it, so.
I actually don't even like the flavour. It's quite awfully,
It's quite bloody.
I think braised that would be perfect.
Delicious braised in a nice pie. Yeah, pretty inedible.
So next up, we're going to start with the neck and clod. I've never heard of this before, so I'm intrigued to see what it looks like.
Yeah. So what we're looking for is the ball joint just in here.
So that's basically like the shoulder blade, really.
Yeah, that's exactly what that'll lead on to. So that there.
All right, cool. So we've got 2 for the price of 1 here. So we've got the clod, which is effectively the collarbone.
Yeah.
And then we've also got, which we've taken off in one go, is the neck. So that's like effectively what your scrag would be, right? So scrag of beef. So it's meant to be characteristically really tough, really dry. We were just saying like mostly this is what you'd use for braising steaks, for pies and mince basically, which is quite a lot. You get quite a lot of that out of a whole cow. You never know. We'll see how it cooks up. Going market rate for a cow is about £6 to £7 a kilo. Sort of 900 quid odd for this half a side.
It's actually not that bad.
It's not. I mean, imagine having if you were feeding a family. I spend 150 quid at Tesco every week. Look at that. It looks nice.
Nice marbling in there.
A nice little steak from the collarbone.
Clod, yeah.
Clod. Thank you, chef.
Thank you, chef. It feels tough.
Does it? There you go, boys. Bottoms up. Bad word.
It's not that bad.
There's not even that much of a chew to it either. There is a chew, but
Pretty bad, but compared to the shin, it's good. Yeah. Right, next up, we're going to go in for our neck steak. On lamb, like neck of lamb is really popular at the moment, yeah? Is it similar in beef, like with Debbie?
not really, no. It's got more sinew through it, so where it's grown older, and it's bigger. It's got a lot more sinews through it, so which is why it needs a lot longer to cook.
Effectively, you've taken out all of the, what's that,
Like
top of the neck bone.
Predominantly, like I say, it's used for stews and things like that, so you wouldn't tend to break it down in this sort of format, you know.
Our lovely little neck fillet. That's quite nice, doesn't it?
First for me, it feels really tough.
That in a sandwich. Look at that.
Yeah, it doesn't
Little
look
beef
that bad.
sandwich. Looks can be deceiving.
Oh.
It's better than the Shin.
It's interesting that it's got that proper livery flavour. It's pretty bad. It's bad for different reasons.
So the next stage I'll do is I'm going to take off 5-bone rib.
And this is what chefs love the most. So this is the ribeye. What we're going to, the fore rib, as you call it.
So many names, yeah, in every
So-
country. Fore rib, prime rib.
So what we're looking for in a good ribeye is a good marbling of fat all the way through. And then also, like, there's different muscles that make up the fore rib.
Now that is a steak, chef.
Look at that bad boy.
Yeah.
Obviously we've got the brisket, which is here. We can cut it shorter so we get better short ribs, like you say.
Yeah.
And then underneath here, we've got our chuck. We've also got our blade and we've got the LMC.
Nice. All right, cool. So where would you split it next? Take the brisket off.
Yeah, so take the brisket off. I mean, we could try this part here as a steak, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, whip it off. Oh, it's nice.
What is that?
We'll call it the Glen steak. So this steak is one we're not sure of the name of it, but it sits underneath the bone, so the underside of the diaphragm, just above the brisket. So worth noting, obviously with our meat prep here, we are trimming down our cuts quite considerably to a lot more than people would normally for these cuts. But we're trimming it down to remove a lot of the sinews so that they are edible in this format. A lot of these shoulder steaks, you would leave them less trimmed for the purpose that they're intended to. We've just taken off some of the fat, a little bit of the sinew, and we're going to cook that up and see what it tastes like.
So brisket flank. Is that what we're going for?
Brisket flank, yeah.
Brisket flank.
a la Glen.
The Glen steak's looking a little bit shriveled, worse for wear.
I think this will be better than that, though.
It could be better.
It's got a grain to it.
It's got a little crispness to it.
Oh, just crunch when I carved it. Oh.
That's flavour. Carve it up.
It's actually delicious.
Nice and smoky.
It's
So you can do with a bit more like
It's actually,
trimming up.
it's actually really nice. Super tender. It's literally melting them out.
That's good. Interestingly enough, it's our first steak with fat on it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that makes it different.
Fat means flavour. The Glen steak. There we go.
Next part I'm going to take off is a brisket. Do that by just sawing across these bones. All these people that are mad into their barbecues want to smoke it.
It does look pretty immense. There's our brisket.
Bone-in brisket.
It used to be underutilized, now incredibly popular, for barbecuing, smoking, salt beefing.
So why is it, do you reckon, that they use this so much for slow cooking?
Just because it's got that sort of grain to it.
Yeah. You see the structure of the meat, pronounced grain.
So it's the top of the breast, so it comes from like the front lat area. Boom. There you go.
For a brisket, like obviously meant to be slow cooked, it looks pretty premium. Should be good.
Looks all right.
It looks quite firm. Let's have a go.
Good flavour.
Really good flavour, tough as old boots.
Yeah, tough as boots.
It's not that bad.
And it's not awful, no.
It's middle of the range, I think.
Like you say, it's got really good flavour to it.
It's beautiful flavour, texture's a bit strange.
Yeah.
So we're still on the shoulder, we're at the top end, we found another Glen steak.
This was just sitting in on the shoulder here.
Okay, so we're going for Glen steak part 2.
That's looking exactly like a beautiful fillet tail. So here we got a new cut, world exclusive, the inner shoulder fillet a la Glen. It's really disappointing. I thought it was going to be great, but just carving it up, it's looking very strange. Like 2 white bits of sinew running through it.
I'd eat it.
I don't think it's going to catch on.
No.
We have another, what I would class as premium cut. So this is the Jacob's Ladder. Very premium cut. It's actually on our menu at Row. Super, super tender when it's braised. I wouldn't call them sinews, but it has quite a lot of connective tissue, probably a better word for it, running through the inside. So I'm not sure how that's going to taste when it's on the rarer side, but we'll give it a go. So there we have a little a pave of meat cut from the Jacob's Ladder.
Nice bit of fat in this one. We've been doing a lot of lean cuts, but this is it's nice to do one with like a little bit of fat running through it. Should be delicious.
How's it looking, chef?
It's actually not looking too bad.
Looks good.
Yeah.
It's quite tough to eat.
Feels like it wants to give you so much, but
It's such a good cut when it's cooked properly.
yeah. Oh well.
Denied.
And next up, we're going for a cut which is I've never heard of before. It's called the leg mutton cut, meant to resemble a leg of lamb, basically. Traditionally used for braises.
Yeah. Ideal for braising, yeah.
All right.
That's looking pretty decent.
Weird, isn't it?
Not much fat running through it.
Right, there we go. That is our leg mutton cut of beef.
Aldi stewing steak.
Hey, nothing wrong with Aldi.
So not much fat running through this thing at all. I don't think the grill's going to do it any favours, to be quite honest.
Predictions?
It's looking very lean.
It's almost a bit like beef jerky.
This is how the phrase Gandhi's flip-flop was first originated.
I actually don't mind it.
You're a sicker.
Well, like you have like a really bad beef stroganoff.
Yeah. It's canteen food.
Nothing against canteens. Left now, we've got the chuck in here. So how did you find the chuck?
So the chuck is just sits on top of the blade bone
Okay.
here, and then underneath the blade bone, you've got the feather blade and your Bolar, which is where you get your flat irons from on the feather blade.
It's mad that we haven't even got to any of the steaks that everyone would know yet. Like, we still have all the best steaks to come.
There are so many different cuts. We have eaten some shit steaks though.
So this muscle here is where we split the rib from the ribeye, and then this where it leads onto the chuck. But
Next steak we're going to cut up is the chuck eye. So continuation of the ribeye muscle leading into the shoulder. Should be similar in sort of texture and flavour, but potentially a little bit tougher as it's further into the shoulder. So we're going to cut a nice steak out of this one.
I'm excited for this.
I think this is going to be a winner.
That
So it looks similar to a ribeye.
Obviously,
Nicely dry aged.
the eye is a lot smaller.
You can sort of see where the muscles are changing. It's quite
Yeah,
interesting
yeah.
to see how it goes. So you've got that eye was really big. It's now just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The fat that runs through the middle has got smaller, and that tissue around the outside has now grown in stature.
Let's cook it up.
Bit tougher. Right, so that's our chuck eye done.
There's absolutely no reason this isn't going to be completely delicious. Chuck eye on the grill. Chuck eye.
Chuck eye.
So basically, it looks exactly like a ribeye. I'm very much
Just a bit more like open.
looking forward to this, to be quite honest. It is firmer than a ribeye.
Yeah, for sure. Has similarities. I think it plays tricks on you because you're like, oh yeah, it's going to be a ribeye, and then you're like, oh wait a minute, it's tough.
The eye of the meat's pretty damn good.
Like it is tender.
Nice.
It'll be interesting to compare it against a ribeye.
So that's the Denver, or the underblade.
Nice. Another steak cut from the shoulder. Looking forward to that one.
That looks really good.
It looks like similar textures to the sort of
Brisket.
to the brisket, doesn't it?
Yeah, like longer grains. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look. I've tried Denver steak before. Very little fat, very lean. So we'll see. Next up, Denver.
never had it as a Denver steak, no.
To us, neither. I don't think we've never sold a Denver.
How would you normally sell this then?
I wouldn't sell it. We just do it as a braise.
Wouldn't feed it to the dogs like. We had it on our first ever menu.
We had it on the
Hind.
menu, and it was good. Denver steak, tough as old boots.
Yeah.
Not really got that much depth of flavour either.
No, it's quite wishy-washy.
No fat going through it either, is there? So, you're not getting any flavour through that.
So, next up, before we get, this is sort of the last sort of lesser known cuts from the shoulder. This is the feather blade. So we're still in the shoulder. So this is where we get to get the flat iron from, which I'm super excited to try.
There is a lot of steaks in the shoulder. It's quite impressive. So far, not that many surprises. Clod's been okay. The Glen steak is a bit of a eureka moment. I'm hoping the next ones are going to be a bit more premium.
Whoa. So you peel it off?
Really?
Yeah, so I scored down the side of the blade bone and then go underneath the blade bone.
Yeah, well, to be honest, the one thing that I'm actually surprised about is the Shin and the Clod, despite the fact they're very hard-working muscles, they actually tasted very different. And some of these muscles have got this like very livery flavour, and you take it for granted. You think, oh, it's all one cow, it all must have the same flavour. But depending on where it is on the animal, the taste is actually completely different. Presume it's the amount of muscle, blood in the muscles, and how the animal's been working. But super interesting anyway.
So that's either side of the shoulder blade. So this one would be...
This is a Bolar.
Ah, the Bolar. So this is the steak from the smaller side of the shoulder blade.
Yeah.
Has several names, but we're going to go with Bolar steak. So it resembles the look of a fillet steak. So it's sometimes called a faux fillet as well.
Oh wow, it does. It looks exactly like a fillet tail.
Yeah.
Also a bit like a monkfish tail.
You just got this sinew coming all the way through the middle.
Yep. Cool. Right. Next up, we have our faux fillet or Bolar steak. Whoa, look at that.
That's a proper bit of...
It's got a bit of sinew in the middle.
Yeah, so that gristle goes all the way through.
So, faux fillet. Be interesting to see what happens to that sinew as it cooks. So, if you went into a restaurant with your missus and you got that as a fillet steak, you wouldn't be... Looks about right.
Not yet.
Do you reckon anyone's selling that as fillet?
I think they'll be brave to do so.
All right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to carve either side of that sinew.
Does look like a fillet.
It looks exactly like a fillet steak.
It's a bit weird. It's like slimy. Do you know what I mean?
Horrible way to just describe something.
But it's like, it's kind of like, it's a weird texture. You know what I mean? It's like,
You definitely know that's not a fillet.
Oh yeah, I'd be sending that straight back.
Yeah.
well, this is the feather blade. So again, still in the shoulder. And from the feather blade, you get a steak called the flat iron. It's also brilliant for braising the feather blade. It has a really huge bit of like gristle running through the middle. But when you braise the meat slowly, that gristle turns into like jelly, which is super delicious. You know, another way to utilize it is by cutting it into flat iron steaks. But when you cut it into the steaks, you have to remove the gristle out of the middle. We have the restaurant group called Flat Iron, which has obviously made the steak very trendy in London. But it's super tender, a little bit offally in taste, and has quite like a dense structure to the meat. Almost like you're filleting a fish.
Yeah.
That looks epic.
That does actually look really good.
So the next steak here, as we just said, we've got the flat iron, so we're going to cut that up and get it on the grill. We'll choose a nice fatty one.
So, flat iron. I've cooked this before.
This should be good.
Well, I mean, restaurants have built empires on this. So, it should be delicious. That's banging.
Really good. My favourite so far.
It's actually exactly what you want from the steak. I can see why there's so many.
I think I prefer that to like a sirloin or whatever.
That's banging.
Best one so far.
It's got a good depth of flavour. It's a really good texture.
It's got a chew in a nice way. I like the fact it's got a chew.
Yeah.
The Goose Skirt I'm really excited for.
You love a goose skirt, don't you?
I
You're
fucking
banging
love-
on about goose skirt.
Goose Skirt, look at it. It's meaty. It's got loads of fat. This is going to be the secret winner. I'm confident.
Why do they call it a goose steak?
Butcher's slang, the lads down the chop shop, they're saying it looks like a goose's undercarriage.
A fucking goose's undercarriage, really?
I don't really know what that looks like, but
What does a goose
maybe Glenn can enlighten
undercarriage
me.
look like?
Well, I'd say I think it looks like the feathers as well on the back. So when you look at a goose, they've got some feathers on the back which spike out. And, yeah.
Fair enough.
There you go, chef. Look at that. It looks fatter than a bavette. A little bit more sort of fat on the top as well. Like it looks tasty.
It's that classic sort of flank meat.
It looks like nicely dry
glazed.
aged as well. Like nice because of its position. It's like not. It sits on the top. It looks well aged, which looks lovely. There we have it. Next one, Goose Skirt.
So I'm expecting onglet style consistency.
I'm expecting flat iron crossed with a bavette.
I'm with you on that.
Oh,
Winner.
that is good.
That's an absolute winner.
It's more awfully, isn't it, in texture? The flat iron's probably slightly more tender. You think?
Yeah, definitely. But I like this consistency. I like that flank
It
consistency.
colours up really nicely. Two absolute winners from the forecourt, and we haven't even got to the ribeye yet.
Stay tuned.
So we're going back to the rib now. So a 5-bone rib. Obviously, the Americans might take it to an 8-bone rib. But yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saw across these ribs here, separate the rib from the flank, and then take the ribeye off the bone.
Why does he reckon the chefs like ribeye so much?
Both has got a good amount of fat in it. I think general consumers are scared off by fat a little bit, whereas I think chefs obviously love fat. And it's probably it's the fattiest prime cut, isn't it, realistically?
It's where all the flavour is. Yeah.
So this is actually the rib cap, and then going down into the ribeye. I actually love rib cap.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really good. Normally rib cap goes into burgers and stuff like that, but it actually is a delicious cut.
So if we left this cut on the bone, you could cut down the sides of the bone, and you'd have your ribeye on the bone, cote de boeuf, prime rib, many different names for that same cut. So we're going to cut this into a ribeye steak, but again, because you could roll this, right? There's so many different cuts out of this one steak. In America, you could have what? You have your porterhouse, T-bone obviously be down further down for the sirloin. Oh. So effectively, we've got a ribeye there. So this is the ribeye. That's like so. And as you can see here, on top of the ribeye, you have this bone here, which is what's this like a plate bone, yeah. So on top of the plate bone is the rib cap. So it's a bit tougher, it's covered with all the fat, but obviously it literally sits on top of the ribeye, hence the rib cap. And then underneath, you've got the ribeye, which just rolls out like so, so we can cut that into steaks, or as I said, if we left it on the bone, we would have had côte de boeuf or prime rib. And then this little bit of meat here is just the chain. It's just the top of the ribeye. So all of this meat is perfect for burgers. So rib cap burgers is what we use at Fallow and Roe for our burgers.
So beautiful. Right, so next up, the rump cap.
I've got a feeling this is not going to be tender. You seem very confident about it.
I am confident.
Arguably the toughest we've tried today.
Not that bad. It is tough. How can that be so different to a ribeye when it's so close?
This is the one we've all been waiting for, the ribeye steak. So we're going to cut a nice juicy ribeye. So as you can see, it's got that beautiful dry aged colour, the fat running through the middle of the steak. So we've got the longissimus dorsii here. We've got the eye of the meat running through, which is where it gets its name for the rib eye. It doesn't get much more like cliche steak, does it?
Nah, it's perfect.
That is like steak. It's what, when you think of steak, that's what you get. It's just that fat as well. You know, when you get the tender meat, and then you get that really nice, juicy, melt in the mouth fat.
It is absolutely delicious.
But how would you compare it to the other two we just loved?
The goose, very different to
And the
goose.
flat iron. I don't know. I think it's up there with it. Yeah.
Bit more character, those two.
Attitude. I think there is one caveat to that though. A big, juicy 1 kilo ribeye on the bone with a huge crust. I don't know if you can beat that. You know, flat irons are lovely, but it's like, as you said, it's a steak, like a great like lunchtime light steak. But when you get that big 1 kilo salt crusted ribeye, it is in another league, I think.
So now we're moving on to the hind quarter. On the hind quarter, we've got our top bit here with our silver side and our top side. Moving on to the rump and loin here. Got your rump underneath, your sirloin with your fillet on the inside. And then on the outside here, we've got our flank, which we've got a couple more skirts. So we've got flank skirt and we've got our bavette.
Ah, nice.
It feels a bit more simple this side. You know, it feels like there's less, like the shoulders, all these little things you've got to find, whereas this is just simple. You've got the loin, you've got the fillet, you've got the leg, boom, nice and simple.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the cod fat, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to take this flank off, all as one piece. Do you know why it's called cod fat?
I have a feeling.
It's to do with the fact that the Old English, they used to call the scrotum area the cod, and that's where the fat is.
So yeah, I'm going to split it into the top bit and then the rump and loin. This is just suet.
Oh, okay.
So this is where your kidneys and that would be.
So this is where you get your suet from. So when you're making your suet pudding and stuff like that, this is perfect for rendering down and using in pastries and stuff like that.
You've got the leg, you've got the rump and loin.
That was a flank skirt.
Oh, that's the flank.
Yeah, this one here is a bavette.
Which do you think is going to be nicer?
I love the bavette.
I didn't realise there were so many different ones. I just thought all flank was Bavette.
I imagine it's going to taste all very similar to the goose.
Yeah.
You think?
I hope so. It was delicious.
Truth.
The most important thing that I've learned so far is in the flavour. Texture is a no-brainer, right? If you eat a muscle that's worked harder, it's going to be tougher. But one thing that I didn't appreciate until now is that like the flavour of the meat that's tougher and done more work is got this like minerally, irony. It's not just the texture that means that it's not a good steak. It's the flavour and the texture.
I think that'll be really interesting to see when we get to the leg.
Yeah.
Because literally, like, is there a more hard-working muscle? I very much doubt it, right?
I don't know, the neck was probably the hardest working muscle.
You think the neck?
That was pretty rough as well.
Yeah. The bavette next to cook up, two separate things. So the bavette is, would you say, what? It's just a bit thicker,
Yeah.
but similar area. Should be very similar in taste, just slightly different areas where they come from. So we'll cut those up.
Very thin. So I'm going to cut this really high heat. We've got our bavette as well. So nice, a lot thicker. I've got high hopes for this after how good the Goose Skirt was. Okay, so this is our flank steak. I'm actually very hopeful for this. I think this is going to be similar to goose, but it looks like it's got a bit more fat on there. Nice fat covering. It's actually the fat's really melty as well.
The flavour is, I would say it's up there with the best we've had today.
Yeah.
It's got a bit more of a chew to it.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, slightly,
A bit more of a
slightly
chew,
firmer.
but I wouldn't kind of like it.
Good chew. Next up, bavette.
It's a babby bad boy.
Obviously just a little bit thicker than the other skirt steaks that we've tried. You can see in there, you've got this fat running through the entire cut of meat, which is going to be super delicious. I think it's going to improve the flavour quite a lot. Considering they're from the same part, it's got so much more tender, the bavette, than the flank steak. And it's, I don't know, probably got a similar flavour.
Yeah, similar flavour. That fat on the inside is nice. It's the meat, the texture of the meat seems a bit closer together.
Yeah. I actually really like that. So this is probably the most premium part. So from a restaurant point of view, we're looking at this and saying we've got our fillet, sirloin, and the rest of the other cuts that we've used today. Effectively, it's up to us to use those to get the rest of the margin. But if you actually think about it, I would say this small part of this animal is probably makes up 35% of the total revenue you will make from your entire animal. So it's super important to butcher this properly and get the most out of it.
No pressure.
We're in good hands. That's why I'm not doing it.
Saddle region. Isn't it?
Yeah, this is the saddle here.
Yeah.
And this will be onto you like your best then if you're looking at it as like a lamb.
Just really getting in there to make sure the bones are clean, because this is obviously the most premium bit.
What Glenn's taken off here is a whole fillet. So you very rarely see this, but it's a really cost-effective way to buy fillet of beef. So the fillet sits basically across the whole middle of the cow. It's on the inside of the diaphragm, so it does little to no work at all. So it's one of the most tender cuts of beef on the whole carcass. And then Glenn's just trimming off all the fat before what we call larder trimming, where he's going to remove all the sinews off the top of the fillet. And now the fillet's sort of broken into 3 sections. So at the very top we have the chateau, so it's like the head of the fillet. And then at the bottom, you have the fillet tail, used as medallions. So obviously in the center here, we've got the center cut fillet, which is sort of like the most prized area of the fillet. It's where all the premium restaurants would use that to make big, fat center cut steaks. We buy our fillets like this, whole in the restaurant, and then we trim them up. And all this sort of beautiful fat here, tender trim would all go into our burgers as well. Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing with fat is whether it's just fat, or you've got things like the cod fat and the suet, which are just very fatty, whereas if you want fat with flavour, you want more aged fat. So the rib caps are a prime example of that, where you would age your ribeyes in the fridge for 30, 40 days, and that fat is aging at the same rate as the beef is. So it's starting to get that good mould on top of it, which once you mince it down, gives you incredible flavour in your burgers. So we're going to take a steak from here to taste. There's beautiful, really glossy meat, nice bit of fat running through it. You can feel when you cut it, it's just going to be tender. It definitely is the most expensive part of the cow.
About 50% of customers would say that tenderness is more important than flavour in the UK. You won't get the same depth of flavour as we'll get with some of the other cuts that we've tried. But ultimately, what you're trying to experience with a fillet is just the easy, most, to be honest, pleasurable eating experience. It's my favourite. The beautiful fillet. Look at that. Oh, glides through.
Yeah.
So crazy how different that is to
Very predictable.
even a ribeye. Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, you know what you're getting,
No surprises.
and like no matter where the fillet comes, unless you're eating like a wagyu, like fillet is fillet.
Yeah.
So this is the rear shin,
Just wave it around my face for.
same as the front shin. So we're going to park that one.
Fair play.
Go to the gym.
No, I don't need to go to the
You got a
gym.
forearm like a fucking elephant.
Because I've been doing this 16 years. So now we're just left with the rump and the sirloin. I'm going to separate the rump from the sirloin. So I'm just taking the 3 wing ribs off of the sirloin.
We sell these in the restaurant as large sharing steaks, and these are pretty much the most premium cuts that you can get.
So with this sirloin, I'm just sort of edging the top of each bone off.
So next up, we're going for our sirloin.
So, interesting fact about sirloin. Why is it called sirloins?
I don't know, I've got a feeling you're going to tell us why.
King James I had such a good steak that he got a cow on bended knee and knighted it sirloin.
After he cut him open and had a steak out of him.
Different cow.
Good old James.
Right, let's cook it up.
Right, sirloin done.
Oh, this is going to be a beauty.
I dubbed these sirloin.
Sirloin.
That is delicious.
That is actually fantastic. It's the best of both worlds.
I think that might be better than the ribeye.
What?
Newsflash. Do you not think?
That is really good, yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to just be like sirloin. Yeah, go on for it. But that is fucking bang
Everyone
on.
always underestimates the sirloin.
Yeah.
And then boom.
The fat on there is delicious.
Yeah. Really
And the
soft,
meat is
melty
as
fat.
tender. That meat is like not a million miles away from the tenderness of that fillet, to be honest with you. It's delicious.
I think what has helped is it's cut halfway down the sirloin as well, because you've taken them wing ribs off. You're right into the middle of the heart.
That's true. So
Primo.
both ends of the sirloin can be a bit
Yeah,
ropey
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
can't they? But
Yeah.
that's like right. That's probably the best part of the sirloin.
Yeah. And this is your salmon cut here, on the side here. So you'd seen this style.
And we actually used to serve the salmon cut raw. We used to do carpaccio with it.
Oh, yeah.
It is super tender. This, my friend, is our tasty little salmon cut. Very weird colour. Super pale.
Is that common for most of the leg steaks, you think? Or is it just this one particular?
I just think it'll be this one particular, because with the top side, it was quite red in colour.
Very dry.
Yeah.
Not much flavour.
It's not as bad as the others.
It's not the worst
Yeah.
we've had.
It's not the worst we've had, no. It's not that bad. In the
It's
restaurant,
what I imagine like a steak would like if you just killed a cow and cut a steak straight off it. That's what I'd imagine that is.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's the type of steak you would get in a sort of like chain pub.
Oh, I think it's worse than that.
The top side. It
looks
doesn't
so
look
dense.
Yeah, it doesn't look the best. It's giving
Like
me
a hockey puck.
It's giving me Shin flashback. That's not very nice. That.
You definitely utilise it for certain uses. I think if it was like cooked like medium to medium well, thinly sliced like on a carvery, like the flavour's not isn't terrible.
No.
Pretty damn average. That. I feel like I need a salad. What do you think? Right, here we go. Top rump. Not very hopeful for this. I'm not sure.
What
do you
I
think?
don't know. I mean, it's
Good for a Sunday roast, but is it good like this? That is the question.
It's definitely got a chew to it.
Pretty firm chew.
yeah.
Got a good flavour though.
If we take little bites,
If you cut it up really thin. That's a Sunday roast in a pub, in the countryside, pint of beer, happy days, can't complain.
yeah,
Rump Pave.
looks more tender.
It does
Looks
actually,
moist.
How does it cut?
It's actually feeling pretty damn good. Yeah.
Oh, it looks more like just.
I think we're going to be surprised.
You reckon? So this is the centre of the rump, basically. Oh,
Whoa. That's very melt in the mouth.
That is, I was going to say exactly the same. Very soft inside.
Incredibly soft. Centre cut rump Pave.
yeah.
It's got to be up there with
It's
some
up
of the
there.
best we've had today.
Yeah, it's got. I would say it's just slightly below the sirloin, but still very, very tasty.
Jack's favourite.
Is this the pecan?
Picanha.
Pecan nuts.
It's got a lot more flavour than the pave.
Yeah.
The fat gives it more flavour.
More flavour, and the roasting that you can get on the fat protects the meat a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's absolutely delicious.
All three of the rump cuts have been really full of flavour. Slow roast it on the fat, like as a whole joint.
Yeah.
Like there's so much. It's a very versatile cut. It lends itself really well to marinating.
It's the flavour of that fat that's the best.
Now we're just down to the final two muscles. So I've got the top rump.
And this is one of the bones that you'd get the best marrow out of, right?
This is the best bone to get the marrow out of.
Why is that? It's just because of the size of it.
Yeah, so it's bigger. It's the biggest marrow bone you've got on the cattle. So
Big boy. This is also one of the best bones for stocks because you've got all the marrow in there. These often get these ends delivered. Perfect for stocks and sauces. Full of marrow, which add richness to your stock.
So we've got a little surprise steak, this one. This is the spider steak, otherwise known in the industry as the arsehole steak. And it's sometimes called the spider steak because of the marbling on the steak resembles that of a spider's web. As we sort of trim off the fat, the fat that runs alongside it looks like a spider's web. And this sits on the top of the leg, inside the H-bone, which is the bone which sort of connects the calf bone to the main leg muscles.
It's also one of the only ones where they actually call it the butcher's steak. So it's obviously not very sought after. And the story is that the butchers, know this steak, enjoy it, so they would keep it for themselves. Is that true or not?
Yes, true.
Not the most convincing, but
He doesn't want to tell us about it, that's why. So here is our spider steak. On one edge, we have all these sort of like white fat sort of running up to the center. And then on the other side, it's fairly lean. Has a little bit of sinew at the top end where it sort of clenches, where the muscle works. But it's got a nice layer of fat, which is gonna caramelize beautifully on the grill. So you only get 2 of these steaks per cow. It's not very well known, and hence why it's known as a butcher's secret steak.
this layer of fat on the outside, which is where its name come from, is going to basically render out as it cooks. And I think it's going to be even better, dare I say, than the goose steak. Yeah, the last thing I need right now is an arsehole steak. But... Right, it smells incredible. It's caramelized nicely because of the fat on top.
I like it.
It's super tender.
I really like it.
It's like a skirt steak, isn't it? I'd say it's similar to a bavette, but potentially more tender.
With probably a similar depth of flavour.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's fantastic.
It's one of those
really
steaks
good.
that you got to try when you can because there's so few of them available. Like if you see it, defo order it. But it's a really, really, really good steak. Up there, rivaling some of those other prime cuts for sure.
How's everyone feeling?
Yeah, pretty full.
Beefed out.
Pretty knowledgeable, but beefed out. But feeling like I understand beef a lot more.
Most surprising steak for me was the goose steak. I thought it was absolutely banging.
Goose skirt, yeah.
And all of the skirt steaks, to be honest, I would definitely eat them a lot more.
From the forecourt, I think the biggest winner was probably the flat iron.
Yes.
Yeah, the rump steaks in general were fantastic. These three here, we had the rump cap, we had the center cut, seamed out the center of the rump, the pave, and then that's the other part of the pave. And then the only bit that was slightly disappointing in the rump was that little top rump. Yeah,
I think the best for me, I'm going to go for it, sirloin. Just because of the amount of fat on there, it was better.
it was delicious. I think I enjoyed the flat iron and the rump as much, I would say.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the skirts.
The skirts,
All
yeah.
of the skirts, yeah.
Massive shout out to this little bad boy, which is the chuck eye, which has got some really beautiful steaks coming in for it. Like definitely different to the rump in a lot of ways, but it's almost like the rump's better looking, more mature European cousin. Yeah, we're definitely going to use this a lot more in the restaurant. It just makes you appreciate there was no surprises. The muscles that work the hardest need the most amount of cooking. It's as simple as that. Predominantly, most of the cow can be eaten as a steak, medium rare. Not just the primals that we always talk about. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Firm handshake.